Hey, it's your girl Lavinia Masters here. And I just want to, before I begin, I want to offer a disclosure, a trigger warning. I actually want to give you a trigger warning on this live tonight. And I want to give you this trigger warning because I am talking about sexual assault. I always talk about sexual assault, but I want to give you a trigger warning because I'm going to be very detailed. I'm going to be very graphic about some things. And so I don't want you to get into the video and you just have a moment, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a moment. I'm not that I'm sad, but I when I got into this, I got very angry all over again. But the reason why I'm doing this because we deal with victims of sexual violence and sexual trauma. And we'll do, like, to me, it's like we'll do a big hoopla about sexual violence, sexual trauma. We'll make it a big deal, certain time of the year, certain month, and everything. And then all of a sudden, everything just falls off. We stop talking about it. Well, many of you know my rape was July 31st, 1985. I was 13 years old. And someone broke into my home and raped me at knife point. I had no idea who it was that did this. I put his photo up tonight, and I did that because I saw the mugshot before. That's actually a mugshot 10 months after he raped me because he was a serial rapist and he raped others. And when he was finally caught, that's the mugshot. And I remember looking at that smirk when I saw that mugshot. And even tonight, when I saw that smirk, it did something to me for a moment because I shudder to think that not only he raped me at knife point, but before he was caught in that 10-month frame, whom else did he attack or take advantage of a rape? And he figured he didn't get caught. And then he went to prison for 10 years and got out of prison and he raped again. So this is definitely a monster that they were dealing with, a monster that didn't mind destroying victims' lives. The reason I'm really doing this, like I said, is because how the justice system failed to understand how sexual assault, sexual violence, sexual trauma affects survivors. Even though we go through our healing phases and we get to a point where we overcome and we're advocating and we're helping others, it still has a long-term effect on victims. And I believe that a lot of that is not just because, naturally, because of the act itself, but really when our system fails us. That adds coal to our fires. Not only were we victims of sexual assault or victims of rape, we were further damaged by the system, the criminal justice system that promised to take care of us, to give us swift justice, to bring these criminals to accountability. And they failed us. They failed us. And this angers you. This is the anger that drives me to fight for victims because it's not fair. It's not right to a survivor, to a victim, to have to endure such trauma as sexual violence and not have the due process of the criminal justice system protecting them, giving them safety, putting forth measures to make sure that this doesn't happen again or that their perpetrators are held accountable. Hey, Marva, this is what happens when our system fails us. I was going through my report for somebody else, and I just had to report out today. And then what happened was I went into Ricky's office looking for something else, and I saw he had a package with my assault. And I'm like, what? And I knew he had a copy, but his package was bigger than my package. So I'm going through the package, and that's where I found the mug shots. And when I saw the mug shots, yes, Marva, when I saw the mug shots, it, like I said, it did something to me. It really did, because I'm like, wow, he's looking like, I know we got a messed up system. I know I'll probably never get caught. I know I'm going to do what I want to do, or our cops are going to be lazy or insensitive or could care less about these crimes that's happening, and we get away with it. But it's that smirk that did something to me, and it still does something to me. And then I found the investigative supplemental report that was in Ricky's files. And I read this report, and this report is trash. It's 34, 5, 6 years old, but it's trash. These offers, to me, it proves that they could have cared less what happened to me that night. And I got angry all over again. Because I'm like, you didn't give a flying fish if you solved this case or not. And I don't know if it was, I know. Because for one, I was a black girl living in the project. It wasn't even our projects. I mean, I lived in the projects before, but we had just relocated from Houston. But you treated me like it was supposed to happen to me. The way you interrogated me. You sure it wasn't your boyfriend? You sure you didn't let him in the house? You sure you're not having sex and you don't want your mama to find out? I would never forget that. And then I'm going to do this. I don't care at this point. The officers, and I don't know if they're still serving. Their names were Officer Carlton Coleman and Officer Keith Olson. Those were the two that came out that night when I was raped and interrogated me like it was my fault. Like I let a man in my window, gave him a knife, and said, rape me. Those are the two. And I got so frustrated because I think I'm more frustrated because that was 30, almost 40 years ago. And the kicker to me is it's 2021 and the system is almost still the freaking same. That pisses me off. That makes me angry. What do we have to do? I know we're taking our baby steps, and I know, and I promote that, and I'm excited, and I love the Lavinia Masters Act, and I love the Sexual Assault Survivors Task Force, the governor on the governor's. I love all of that. But we should be so much further along. We should be so much further along when it comes to dealing with victims. When I tell you the supplemental report, and I'm gonna try not to get emotional, because I was so mad. Look, you know what? I was mad as hell. Ain't no need to be trying to act like Jesus don't understand. I get angry. I was mad as hell when I read this, because like I said, it was trash. It was pure trash. This is no investigative report. From this report, what I read, which is nothing really on here, you had no intentions. You made your decision July 31st that you were going to put my kit on that freaking shelf. You know why I know that? Because right here, you took, this is what you took. You took items 3 and 4 were given to investigator by complainant at the scene. Items 2 through 4 were sent to the Institute of Forensic Science on tag number 494169 to be examined for rape trace evidence. You said you were going to do it that night. That's why you sent it to the lab. but you didn't do a damn thing with it. Yeah, I said damn. You did nothing. And that was that was almost 40 years ago. And you still doing the same crap today. And that's why I'm on here tonight, because you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. You're going to stop treating survivors like they're nothing, like you don't believe us, like you're not going to fight for us. Let me tell you something, people. This is why I try to encourage you or talk you into telling your stories, sharing, empowering yourselves, empowering others, not just to be telling a story. You have to let them know we've had enough. We're going to speak. We want change. We're going to demand change with our voices. We're going to sit at these tables with these legislators, and we're going to make these changes. We are going to be the legislators and make the changes. Come on now. There's too much to be done. And the time is now. The time is now. This is ludicrous to me. It's ludicrous to me. You said you were going to take, and I'm sorry I'm graphic, but you said you were going to take my 3 sheets. 2 of them were flowered, 1 was white, my yellow underwear, and my purple nightgown to the Institute of Forensic Science to have it examined, and you let it sit there for over 20 years, America. This is what you thought of little black girls. And if you didn't, and if it wasn't because I was black, you better convince me otherwise. I know another reason. Because I was a girl. Women have been fighting for rights, fighting to speak, fighting to have a voice. I was already a minority when I was a female. Now I'm a black female. But time's up. No more. We're done. We're done. And I'm going to call you out. And I will post my videos. And I will make noise, and hopefully I will continue to gather others that will do the same thing. But we need to change how this system is being ran, because it's being ran like some mess. All this political, as they say, politically correct, bump that. I'm done with politically correct. I don't even really understand that anymore, because you're not going to continue to dehumanize victims of sexual violence. You're not going to continue to minimize the things that happen to us. You're not going to continue to question, why is that still bothering? Let it happen to you. And if it did happen to you, quit lying to yourself and suppressing it and act like it don't concern you or bother you. This bothers me. It wasn't the rape itself, really. That bothered me in the beginning. And I went through my healing phase for that. But I didn't realize that I had to go through a healing phase for my freaking justice system. I didn't realize that. I realize it now. I realized the wickedness in high places was right there with me that night. They came in writing up these reports just to be writing something down and said we went out on that call. Maybe you said, oh, she'll probably end up on drugs or prostituting or alcoholic or something, killing herself anyway. So why go through all that? That's how you make me feel. You didn't give a damn what happened to me after that night. Yeah, that's what you thought. But you had the right one that night. Because I'm still here and I'm still standing. And I'm going to fight for victims. And I'm going to do all I can to encourage them to fight back. That's why I do what I do. That's why I'm on here. Because I'm going to call you out. I'm calling out our justice system. And if you are offended, get your life together. Because I'm not sorry. I'm not going to apologize. Get yourself together. It shouldn't take almost 40 years for the Lavinia Master Act to come into place and say in the state of Texas, we're going to start Make sure we examine these rape kits within 90 days or you be held accountable. That is asinine. You know it is. This should have been in effect. You lied on my investigative report and said you were going to do it. You lied right on my report. You falsified a document. Is this legal? You said you were going to do it, but you didn't do it. This is how you do many victims. And you wonder why. We are so torn. You wonder why we don't report our crimes. You wonder why you call us apprehensive. You say we're uncooperative when you do your reports with us. You wonder why we fear talking to you. And it's not that I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid nothing's going to get done. So why take myself through the added trauma? I'm already traumatized. And then you come, you're going to re-traumatize me. You can care less how I live or how I'm affected or how I grow after this. Because it's just a job for you. You glad you didn't have to go out on the call where somebody was shot and be out all night long. It was just a black chick that was raped by a knife point. She got a cut on the throat. Yeah, he raped her. We got the evidence. All right, we out. Boom. Let's take her sheets and her underwear and let's put it on the shelf. We're gonna tell her that it's gonna be examined. But 20-some years later, it's still sitting there. And will probably still be sitting there had I not heard about the Debbie Smith Act and the funding to open up the rape kits. Had I not heard the news that day. I always wondered, whatever happened? Who was that raped me? Am I delusional? Did I make that up? Did somebody come? Did I let somebody in that window? You had me thinking I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Because you didn't do your job. You had one job, as they say. And that was protect and serve that 13-year-old girl on July 31st, 1985. And you failed. But you still wore a badge. You probably retired. Some of y'all still may. I found the Coolman guy. I don't know if he's the same guy, but that's a rare name. He's in Collin County College now as an officer. And he looks pretty old. But you guys, you still wore your badges. You still go home at night with your families, your loved ones, your friends. May pop a cold one. You may even go to church on Sunday. Come back to work just another day. While these children are over here suffering. They killing themselves. They're slicing their arms. They're getting high on drugs, meth, cocaine. They turn to alcoholics. They are bitter. They are angry. They are violent. They're reclusive. People don't understand them. People say she acts paranoid. She acts funny. Something wrong with her. She has the devil in her. No, she was touched by the devil. The devil that raped her. And then the devils that came out to make the report. They didn't do nothing for her. Didn't follow through. Didn't even come by and say, how you feeling? Didn't call my mom and say, how's your daughter? How's your baby? Didn't get a card from the hospital. Now I got a bill. Didn't get a card from the hospital. How are you? A follow-up call? Nothing. Nothing. I am the voice of all those kids on those shelves. This is what you do. when you leave rape kits on the shelf. This is what you do when you don't respond properly to victims of sexual violence. This is what you do when you don't protect children that are in homes where they have been sexually abused. This is what you do to them. You reject them. You deny them. You further damage them. You minimize them. You create monsters in their closets. This is what you do. Our justice system, our judges, our lawyers, our congressmen. Not all of you, but the majority of you do. Because your effect is greater than those that seem to be fighting for us. And we have to work harder. And it takes us longer to get to a point where it even seems like justice is happening for us. It's been 36 years. 36 years for me. And I'm thankful. Lord knows I'm thankful for DNA because I know who my perpetrator is. I'm thankful that I know who he is and I know that he's incarcerated, but not for my crimes because I missed 2 statute of limitations. I'm thankful for that. But I still feel that I was not served justice properly. Where's my restitution? What do you do to say, Lavinia, I was wrong and we're going to make it right? We lied to you. We told you, we took your evidence. You took more from me. He already took my innocence. He already took my virginity away from me. He already took my way of living and thinking away from me. And then you came and you took more. Because you removed items from my home and from my body. Parts of me that made me feel safe. And I trusted you. I trusted my system with it. And my system violated me too. Because you lied. You took my belongings and you didn't do as you promised, but you put it in writing. You falsified your documentation about what you were going to do for that little girl on that night. Shame on you. Shame on you and how you treat rape victims. Shame on you. I feel that Como feels that he's still innocent because he knows how corrupt the system really is. It's so corrupt that victims not used to having a voice and that perpetrators are used to doing what they want to do, touching, groping, and nothing happens in our justice system. He don't think he did anything wrong. Cosby don't think he did anything wrong. That's why they can't be held accountable within themselves. What did I do? Because the justice system hasn't made a voice, hasn't made a case for victims. So now they struggle. They literally struggle. You have to almost pray for them. Lord, I hope they get it right one day. Because they still think. They don't know what consent is. They don't know what sexual harassment is. They don't know they can't drug somebody. They don't get that. And the sad part is a lot of these laws were just changed like from 2015, 2017. That's ridiculous. It's like you say we're supposed to. This is the behavior of man versus woman, or woman versus man, or men on men, women on women, whatever. But it shouldn't be so. And it's time up for this. It's time up. It really is. And I know I thought I was going to be on here 5 minutes, but I told you it's going to be a trigger warning because I am angry. I'm angry how we handle victims of sexual violence. I'm so angry. I'm angry because even though I sit at the tables for change, and I love our small victories because they are very small to me. I love them. But something still inside of me aggravates the hell out of me because I'm like, we're just now here. But I'm thankful because I feel I'm supposed to be here. And I feel God has preserved me, and that frustration and anger is my fuel, and I'm going to use every bit of it. Jesus flipped them tables in that when they were trading. He flipped them. He sure did. And I'm finna flip some tables, baby. I'm gonna keep flipping these tables till I run y'all crazy. And that's exactly what I plan. I'm gonna flip some tables. I'm gonna turn some heads. I'm gonna say some things y'all didn't expect me to say. 'Cause I've had enough. My vision I had last night is starting to come clear to me now. I didn't understand it at first. Because the vision was like my mom was in it and my Uncle Billy Fred. I always looked at them as prayer warriors. And Ricky and others, we were praying, trying to get these demons out. The demon went away, but the demon came back. We heard it. And there was more demons. You know, that's Bible, so they come back in legions. But this time, those that I depended on to help me pray were not there. And the Spirit told me, spoke to me, and said, you can rebuke those demons because I gave you that power. And I woke up this morning telling Ricky that I said, I didn't understand that. And I said, but I was rebuking. I said at first, like they were multiplying and multiplying, and they were mad and they was angry, and they rolled up on me, but they had to stop because they realized I had a power. And I didn't realize that at first. I was trying to figure out what they stopping for. Then it dawned on me they're intimidated by my power. And it wasn't only intimidation. They knew that power was real, that I was using against them. So they began to fold back up into one another, and they evaporated. See, the first time they quieted down, but the second time when I realized the power I had and I was given, they were gone. See, and I see it now with the system and how all this has unfolded today. It's amazing to me. That's how it used to be at first. It was like the Lavinia Masters Act was to just quiet me down, quiet some things down. We're doing stuff in Texas. And I mean, I know Victoria Neave had perfect intentions when she did it because that was her purpose to stop all of this. But a lot of people were going along to quietness. Shut them up. Shh, be quiet, be quiet. To hell you say. To hell you say we're going to be quiet. We've only just begun. I believe that. So I'm going to let you go because I've been on here 30 minutes. I know you lose the attention of people about 30 minutes, probably about 5 with me. But I love you, and I told you it's going to be trigger warnings, and there has to be a change. And to my advocates that are advocates for victims of sexual assault, I'm going to be praying for you because I really want you to, I know you're advocating. I really want you to be willing to just get your hair sweaty and nappy, your fingernails off, no makeup, and let's get in the trenches. We don't have another 36 years. That's too long for our babies and our grandbabies. That's too long. We need justice now. I'm still getting calls from stupidity. Yeah, I said it. From stupidity. From DAs sending a text to a victim talking about the grand jury not going to prosecute, but the poor victim never met the DA or her detective. Everything's just on the phone call. But the text is what got me. The text. Stupidity. I got a whole bunch of stories that I get. Stupidity. Still happening today, 2021. Finna be 2022 before you know it. Still happening. I don't want to hear about no COVID. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. But I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Love you. Yes, I was angry. Yes, I said damn and hell. You're lucky that's all I said in this talk. But I need you to know how serious we got to be about this. To me, this is our Father's business because these are his children. These are his people. They are hurting. They are broken. They are scared. They don't want to come forward because they know this how the system and how corrupt things are and how it doesn't work for them. We have to make that change. We have to make that. I'm not the kind to run for no office or nothing like that. That ain't me. I've been asked to do that. No, that's not me. Y'all wouldn't like me. I promise you would. Because I'd be your greatest whistleblower. I shut everything down. They have somebody after me to get rid of me. That's just the truth. Love you. Gotta go. Talk to you later. We gotta get some. We gotta keep fighting, y'all. And we have got to make haste now. Okay? Lavinia out. Thanks for watching. Thank you for listening. And if anybody was triggered, I pray that you are calm, that you embrace the moment, and that you know that God is in control and He's giving you a power to control yourself. It's going to be okay. Everything will be okay. Inhale, exhale, release. Okay. Lavinia out. Talk to you later. Bye bye.